We're going to start off with unpacking health, principles of health and secrets to longevity. We're going to go through the doctrine of signatures, benefits of a plant-based diet, an interactive Q&A, and a smoothie demo to finish this up. Tammy, you have a giveaway that you'd like to share with everybody. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so today you can win a copy of my newly published book, which is called Made with Love and Plants. I've got a copy here. I published it with Penguin. It has so much in this book. It's really packed with a section called Plants on Fire, which is how to have a plant-based barbecue, gut health, batch cooking, sustainable gifting, meal planning, and there are over 80 chef-tested recipes, which have been beautifully photographed. And we are giving away 2 of these books, which I will sign and send out at the end of the day. But what I really need you to do is to jump onto Instagram. Make sure that you post something from today or more than one thing and tag me just so I can see that you've posted that. And we will choose winners after the workshop. I think that although there were 400 people registered for today, but I don't know how many people are on the call, we can have an impact far greater than just the people on this call. So, let's all be advocates together. And if you feel inspired by anything, then please do share it.
All right, Tammy, I'm going to go through the slides now, and you're going to go over a bunch of your information sessions. So I'm going to let you take it away and just let me know when you want me to move to the next slide.
Yeah, so if you can go back, Bosco, we're just going to go back to the very first, the slide before this. Yeah, if you can just hang on there.
Yep.
Or don't even show slides for this segment. We're going to touch on the doctrine of signatures. So we're going to kick off with a bit of a game. And I just want you guys to feel the energy, and I want you to feel my passion for plant-based and get involved with this section. So this is the medieval herbal philosophy, which is subscribed to the doctrine of signatures. This meant that the way that a food looks often indicates what part of the body it is good for. So it does sound a bit silly to us today, but what is fascinating is that some science often affirms some of these antiquated claims. So I'm going to show you the vegetables, and I've got all of them here. So I'm super excited. Here they all are, beautiful veggies. And I want you to put into the comments, when I show you the vegetable, I want you to put in the comments, like really fast, what you think it's good for. And I get some really naughty things sometimes. But feel free, like, you're hiding behind the screen. No one really knows who you are. So feel free to drop that in there, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to start off with celery. So does anyone know what celery is good for?
We have bones, fiber, joints.
Okay, very, very good. Lots of people commenting. Okay, so celery is actually good for your bones, but here's the incredible thing. It has exactly the same percentage of sodium as your bones. It contains calcium, and it has over 25 anti-inflammatory compounds, which actually neutralize acidic foods. So well known to increase bone density. So absolutely amazing. So just a little bit of a celebration of plants and whole foods. Okay, I've got another one coming right up. And I've got my knife here, guys. So next one. This is amazing. I love this one.
All right. Heart.
Avocado.
We've got someone say heart, eye, ovaries, eyes, fertility, Bosco's brains. Oh, that was me. Sorry.
Anyone else? Making me fat. Okay, so we've got to decide what part of the body it's good for. And this one is going to go to whoever said fertility. Most amazing thing about avocados is it takes exactly 9 months from seed to fully ripened, ready to eat. 9 months, the same amount of time as it does for a baby. And modern research actually shows that when a woman eats one avocado a week throughout her pregnancy, it balances birth hormones, and it actually sheds unwanted birth weight. So those people who said makes me fat, maybe if you're eating 2 a day, but if you're having 1 a week, it's actually perfect. And it's been known to prevent cervical cancer, which is amazing. Okay, so that's avocado. So don't be shy of eating them. Okay, next one. This one's going to be pretty easy to guess. Gonna do that.
Breast. Preventing scurvy. Oh.
If I do that.
Lots of immunity.
Okay, so oranges is actually for your breasts. That's true. And all other citrus fruits, by the way. And they contain substances called limonoids, which have actually been shown to limit the development of cancer in the breast tissue, which is absolutely astounding. And there are other compounds in these fruits that assist the movements of lymph in and out of the breast tissue, which is phenomenal. Okay, now this blows me away, and I have to press a little bit harder to cut through this. Okay. All right. An apple.
Yeah.
Fiber.
And now I'm going to show you something else. And I'm going to put this really close to my camera. That'll might give you a clue. So if you look carefully, in the middle of this apple is a 5-pointed star.
Yeah.
And it's in every single apple. And do you guys know the Vitruvian Man, the guy who stands on all the health? You'll see the Vitruvian Man. He's the guy that stands with his legs apart. And the 5-pointed star is actually a symbol of health. And you would have known, you would have heard for many years as a child, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And it is true. It's about holistic health. Okay, so the next one is, this one is also amazing. The carrot. But look into the middle of the carrot. Yep, eyes. Okay, everyone got eyes. So, and it looks exactly like your eyes. But the amazing thing is carrots contain beta carotene, which actually reduces the risk of developing cataracts and macular degeneration as you get older. So, and by the way, beta carotene in a tablet form has not shown to have the same impact as actually eating it in whole food. So you actually need to get it in your food and not take it in a tablet form. Okay, I'll just do one or two more. So we've got ginger. Ginger should be an easy one. Christina, very good. Nausea, colds, immunity. Okay. So ginger, it looks exactly like the stomach, but it also does aid in digestion. And we know that Indian and Chinese have been using it for thousands of years to cure stomach illnesses and nausea and even motion sickness. So that is right. Lots of people got that one right. And then let's see what else I've got. Okay, this is also amazing. I get so excited. Okay, red pepper. Have a look at that.
Lots of heart and inflammation.
Yep, the red pepper is good for your heart. And it has 4 chambers, exactly like your heart, which is amazing. It contains a substance called lycopene, which is found in all red vegetables, and that has shown to have amazing benefits for your heart. I could do one more or two more. How are we going for time, Bosco?
We're at 5:17.
Okay. All right. This is a walnut. I just want you to look at it like that too. You guys are onto it. It's amazing.
Keeps you nutty.
Keeps you nutty. Everybody's just firing. That's awesome. Yeah. So it looks like a little brain. So you've got you can see the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It's got the upper cerebrums and lower cerebellums, and even the wrinkles and folds in the nut are very similar to those of the neocortex. So it's amazing. And scientists claim that there are over 3 dozen neurotransmitters within the brain that are activated by eating walnuts. So absolutely amazing food for your brain. And I'll do one more just because I know you guys, I know what you want to say. Everyone's gone quiet for a second. Banana.
Fantastic.
What part of the body do you think it's good for, and what does it look like?
Someone said intestine or bowel.
Patricia, I've got to love you. The banana. It's got to be Mick. Okay, so bananas amazingly stimulate the production of serotonin in your body. So we say the banana looks like a smile. So just amazing. You'll see so many vegans eat bananas, and I think that's probably why we are so happy all of the time.
We already know whose mind is in the gutter looking at the comments there.
I know there's a lot of, I like those people. So it's just amazing, guys. I wanted to share that with you and get you involved with this workshop. But we will move on to a section now on lifestyle and longevity, because this workshop we are talking about living well. And I think I wanted to talk about holistic health and aging with vitality, because that is ultimately what living well is all about. It's no secret that something that we're doing in the Western world is making us sick, because never before have we seen such dire increases in non-communicable disease, which are lifestyle diseases. Essentially, they are preventable by the way we live our lives. And you can see by this chart the massive rate of increase, and this ended in 2017. I'd hate to see where it goes to in 2021, but we're seeing just a rapid increase of these non-communicable diseases. 1 of 4 deaths are due to heart disease, 1 in 4 from diabetes 2, 1 in 2 by 2036 people will die from cancer, some form of cancer. And we're seeing a host of autoimmune disease, which is really quite scary. But there's not everything is in our control, but there are a few things that we do control. And one of them is our nutrition and our gut health, which is probably why you're on this workshop today. You're taking control of that aspect of your life. And the other one is our environment and the toxins that we bring into our home, and the toxins that are all around us, and trying to eliminate those and living in areas where there are less toxic overloads on our body. And then the toxins we consume from our food. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. And then, of course, our own mindset and psychology. But there's so much confusing information out there, guys. I know a million different diets that promise you the world. But I think something that I've taken a lot of learning from is the simplicity of the epigenetic studies, which are the population studies that have been done on hundreds of thousands of people. And there's a piece of research which I urge you to go out and read. It was done by Dr. Dan Buettner, who identified areas in the world where there were many, many people living over 100 without these typical non-communicable diseases that we're seeing in the Western world. And he identified the highest concentration of centenarians in these areas, and he referred to them as the blue zones. So I'm not sure if you've heard of the blue zones, but just to give you some of those areas, one of them is Sardinia, Okinawa, Ikaria, and the Seventh-day Adventist group in California. So if we go to the next diagram, he took some of the common factors and he put them into this Venn diagram. And we can see in the core of the Venn diagram are the common factors for longevity. It's that simple. 1 is family. Number 2, all these people ate legumes. So those of you that avoid legumes for whatever reason, it's not a good idea. No smoking, a plant-based diet. And these people they were largely on Mediterranean type diets. They weren't vegan, but they were following a largely plant-based diet. social engagement, and constant moderate physical activity. And then some of the other, call them secondary factors, were high soy consumption, no alcohol, having faith, gardening, sunshine, my best, empowered woman, and grains. So just, so simple, and yet it can make such a difference if you apply some of these things to your life in a holistic way. And we can see that actually longevity is quite simple. So what I want to share with you is what I call the 8 principles to achieve health. And as I go through this list, I want you to think about these things. And even if you want to drop in the comments and put your hand up or clap, if you do these things, and if you don't, I don't know, put a crying face or a very sad face or something like that. But when I did a women's health workshop, we asked the participants who did all of these 8 things. And we actually found that only about 20% of people were taking charge and making sure that they were achieving these things every day. So the first one is drinking 2 liters of fresh water every single day. You can take that further and make sure that your water is filtered. And you can even add chlorophyll to your water. And chlorophyll is incredible because it oxygenates the body and gives you energy. So you can clap. If you think that you drink 2 liters of water a day, just give us a thumbs up or something in the comments. And then the second one is fresh air. And I think exposing yourself to different environments, like going out into a forest, going onto a beach, spending time at a lake, just natural environments, all of that, the bacteria in the air helps to build your gut as well. So it is important to get out into nature and spend time in nature. And then 20 minutes of sunshine every single day. That's very easy for people who live in Queensland, but for other people in other parts of the world might not be so easy. Getting 30 to 45 minutes of exercise every single day. So, and 10 minutes of that should be high intensity. So being breathless for 10 minutes a day is extremely good for longevity. Whole, clean, plant-based foods. A fun thing that I do with my family is sometimes we'll record all of the plants that we eat in a week, and we try and aim for 30 different plant-based foods every week. So it's no good if you're just eating potatoes every day. That's not going to make you healthy. But if you're eating a wide variety, you will find an enormous health benefit. Positive, healthy relationships, it goes without saying. People that bring you down and bring your energy down are no good for you. You need to move past that, and you need to associate with people that make you happy and excited about what you do, and possibly share your passion with you. And then having a positive mindset, a passion and sense of purpose. And I think Haans will probably speak to this a little bit later in the workshop. I know she's very passionate about this. And then last but not least, 8 hours of sleep every single night. Now, we do know that every time you sleep, you boost the number of T cells, which are immune cells, which actually protect your body from cancer and other pathogens. So you should try and get your full sleep quota every night. It's really important. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why plant-based and just touch on a few areas because I know that we have only about, 5 minutes left. Bosco, 10 minutes?
Yeah, we're around 5:27 right now.
Okay, so if you go to the next slide, I want you guys to maybe take a screen grab of this page, and I want you to try and watch these documentaries. As David Attenborough said, we are actually facing the 6th mass extinction. We're losing 10,000 species of fauna and flora every single year to extinction. And the animal agriculture industry is having an enormous impact, negative impact on the planet. So by going plant-based, we reduce the amounts of CO2 emissions going into the atmosphere. We know that animal agriculture produces more greenhouse gas emissions than all of the cars, planes, and other forms of transportation combined. It also is very water-intensive industry. Just to drop a statistic here, we use 16,000 liters of water to produce a kg of meat. And to produce a plant-based burger, we would use about 250 liters of water. So there's a massive difference. And when we know we're facing a water crisis, we should be looking at how we consume foods instead of telling our children to turn taps off, and turn off the dripping tap, because the impacts are so much greater by choosing the right types of food. And last but not least, the 70% of the monoculture crops grown in the world, 70% of all corn, soy, wheat crops are actually fed to livestock. And 90% of the Amazon deforestation is due to the requirement for food to feed livestock. So it's crazy to think, that we all get really worked up about Amazon deforestation, but if we're eating animals, we're actually contributing to that deforestation. In terms of animals, here's again a screenshot of a couple of documentaries you can and probably should watch if you can actually watch this kind of content. But as Leo Tolstoy said, if slaughterhouses had glass walls, we would all be vegetarian. And we are all born compassionate, and we love animals. But the way we live is discordant with our daily choices. And we do this only because we've been conditioned, and we have a wonderful way of compartmentalizing our emotions and removing the reality of our food away from us. The animal agriculture industry, often they will talk up that it's all humane and it's all done very nicely. And there's what I call animology. They're beautiful words that are used, like, they just do toe clipping or beak trimming. And this sounds like, the animal's going to a spa for a little bit of a beak trim. It's not actually that at all. It's a total removal of the beak without any pain medication. These are currently being utilized in the animal industry today, and they are not considered inhumane. And it is important for us to go out and to start investigating these things. And then last but not least, human health. Again, a few documentaries for you to watch, but eating a plant-based diet diseases and assist you in achieving longevity. But it is also a very alkaline diet. So if you go to the next slide, Bosco, a lot of us have an acidic, a very acidic body, and acidity is a breeding ground for disease and leads to poor health. If you're getting aching joints, or you're gaining weight, or you're craving carbs and sugar, even brain fog often means that you're running too acidic. You can test your own acid levels by getting pH test strips and urinating on it in the morning. It'll tell you. But acidosis is a very real problem, and we should be choosing more alkaline foods. And you can see by this chart, it's easy to see what type of foods we should be eating. And obviously, plant-based foods are full of fiber. The typical Western diet eats about half the amounts of fiber that is recommended by the FDA. It's currently, we should be having 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day from our food, but we take in about 15 grams. That's because of the highly processed food that we eat. And on the contrary, we eat about double the amount of protein that is recommended. And yet there's so much focus on getting animal protein that we often forget about what about fiber. But a good way to test how quickly food moves through your gut and how much fiber you're getting, and that system of food going into your mouth and coming out the other end. And it's quite funny. Some friends of mine did this and let me know what happens to them. But is eating a heap of beetroot and then 12 hours later going to the loo. And if the toilet turns pink, you know that your system is working well. But if that doesn't happen, you probably have some blockages in your stomach. And then obviously plant-based diet has no cholesterol. My husband, when I met him, he told me he had genetic cholesterol. And his cholesterol levels were at about a 6. And after 3 months on a plant-based diet, his genetic cholesterol ended up at 2.2. So I think that, if you've got cholesterol in your family, plant-based is the way to go. And then, of course, you lower your toxic intake if you choose a plant-based diet. And if we've got a little bit of time, Bosco, I just wanted to talk to the slide. This is incredible. If you consume animal products, they are not eating non-genetically modified grains and legumes. They are consuming the cheaper genetically modified ones. Now, these are laden with pesticides and a chemical called glyphosate. So genetically modified crops are sprayed with glyphosate. Now, glyphosate is known, and this is a diagram showing the gut, and you can see here the lining, the epithelial cells. This lining is very, very thin. In fact, it's about half the width of one of your hair on your head, but it is the barrier between the outside world and the inside world. And when you break the tight junctions, which you see happens here, and you impair this barrier, the toxins start to leak through into your bloodstream, and you get this immune activation. So it is very, and then that can cause a host of other issues, because that can impact the vagus nerve and affect brain health too. So avoiding all genetically modified foods is really critical, but also avoiding foods that have been sprayed and avoiding animal products that have been consuming these grains, where you have this bioaccumulation of toxins, is really critical. And the last slide I want to talk to is just really blew my mind, and something I had to share with you today. You can see in 1991 is where we started spraying crops with pesticides. And you can see here the link with autism. And you can see how autism is climbing at the same rate that we spray in crops. It's almost uncanny how close they run together. But with this data, they have forecast that by 2036, 1 in 3 adults will be autistic. And then we have an economic crisis too. So, really putting pressure on the system to get spray-free crops or food is really important.
Well, that's very insightful, Tammy. Thank you for sharing with us some interesting insights when it comes to the industry and where we are today. We're now at that stage where we're going to have a quick interactive Q&A. For our live audience, feel free to use the Q&A button to leave your questions in, and we'll be responding to them as Tammy goes through the super smoothie recipe. I'm going to stop sharing the slides, and we're basically going to quiz Haans and Tammy with a few questions, a little bit about, a sustainable future is the theme of our current sort of Q&A. So I'm going to start off with a very simple question for both of you. We'll start with Haans. How did you discover your purpose, and what compelled you to act on it with what you do today?
Oh, how much time have we got?
the 2 minute or 1 minute response, I guess.
Okay. Say that again. What got me into the?
How did you discover your purpose, and what compelled you to act on it?
I used to always think I was supposed to have a career, and I had a nightclub here in Melbourne. I had it for 3.5 years, and then one day I was doing my promotion for my venue as I did every day, and I came across a video of the dolphin slaughter in Taiji. And I sort of skipped forward, and then I was like, wait a second, what was that I just saw? And I went back to that video and I watched it, and I just couldn't believe that was real. I could not believe that they were slaughtering these dolphins the way they were doing. And it just sort of steamrolled from there. I found out about factory farming. I found out about fur. I found out about foie gras and all that, how all that's done. And over time, I just eventually looked at my pantry and I said, I can't do it anymore. I can't be part of that anymore. So I stopped. I just stopped it all. It took me about 6 months. And then I literally lost the love for my club. So I shut the doors and walked away and joined the ships, became a private investigator in between that. Then I joined the ships and I lived on them for 6 years, and I found my purpose. And I knew my first campaign when I got on board that vessel, the first time I put on my crew jacket and I was like, oh my God, I'm crew to these amazing people. I knew that was my purpose. That was what I was supposed to do in life. And I said to Peter Hammerstead, because I nagged him to get on the ship, and I said, I'll just do 3 campaigns. That's in my head. It was 3 campaigns. I ended up doing 10, and I just never left, and Peter couldn't get rid of me. So, it just became, that was my goal, was to keep moving up the ranks, keep becoming more and more, and get more, learn as much as I'd learned, and see as much as I could see, and tell the rest of the world what's going on out there, out in the ocean. So, that's my purpose now, to do things like this.
Tammy, tell us about your purpose and what prompted you to be where you are today.
Well, I was born on a goat farm. And it was humble beginnings because we lived in a tiny shack and we had no running water. And my dad was farming goats for ritual slaughter in South Africa. And I got to know some of these goats, and I was just horrified that people actually were going to slaughter some of these animals. And I think that's where it started for me, was making a connection with animals at a very young age, and realizing that for me, goats or dogs, they were all the same. And I just never ate meat. I just decided it wasn't going to be for me. But growing up was challenging because I went to an all-girls school with over 1,000 girls. And I remember going into Christian studies, and they actually prayed for me because they said it was anti-biblical to be plant-based, like it was against the principles of the Bible. And it was really challenging. And I think that's where sport came in for me. I wanted to show them that actually you could be very strong, very fit and healthy on a plant-based diet. It was my way of advocating. And I think I was really just born into my purpose. And I've had the amazing opportunity, which I'm so grateful for, to live that every single day. And even now with the Live Kindly company and with Fries and the work that I get to do every day, I'm just incredibly lucky.
So Tammy, I'll start with you, and then we'll go through to Haans' response as well. And again, we don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to throw this at both of you. What does a sustainable future look like for both of you? And more importantly, how can the audience that's listening and tuning in today, and also our live audience of people that are going to access the recording, what can they do to leave a better footprint on this planet?
Well, a sustainable future means that we start reversing some of the damage that we've done to Mother Earth. And we have a long way to go, but it's not impossible to turn the ship around. And I can see by the rate at which people are adopting plant-based diets that people are already onto this. They're more conscious. They're making more conscious choices. Now, you don't have to be David Attenborough. You know, you can just be a parent teaching your children good, healthy, conscious choices. You can just be choosing the right foods to put on your table. You can be choosing foods with the right type of packaging. And just by making those small choices, if we as a collective, we're all doing that, 9 billion people were doing that, we would change the status quo tomorrow. So it's about just making those small changes at home. And if you feel up to it, advocating for those changes, bringing people on board to workshops like this, buying them a plant-based book or getting them to watch a documentary, all of that is very, very positive work that can be done.
It sounds like what you're saying is we really need to start creating that awareness for the people around us as well. That's what I'm getting from this as well, is that most of the people do better when they know better, but it sounds like they need to know what it is that they're doing to have a better knowledge. Exactly. Haans, what's your perspective on this?
Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again, supply and demand, supply and demand, supply and demand. If you stop buying the products, the people that are destroying our planet, people will companies will stop making them. It is about what you purchase. So when you're going to the supermarket and you want to get that fish, try and look for an alternative fish. There's so many different products out there that people can go to now. You know, when I went vegan 11 years ago, we didn't have any of this stuff. I remember standing in the supermarket almost in tears thinking, what am I going to do? You know, I'm just going to eat rice for the rest of my life, you know. But I was so hell-bent on never going back, and I never have. And I just think that now I've watched it evolve over the years. You know, I might go to sea for a few months, I come back to land, and there's new things on the shelves. And, you know, I've always followed Tammy's stuff. She's always bringing out new stuff and taking on that challenge. And those are the companies that we need to support. And when there's companies that are making these, you know, their fish or whatever, they're buying into fish farms, or, you know, for me anyway, as a sea shepherd, you know, just don't support those companies. But we also need to, you know, take into account, we can't always be, you know, people like McDonald's or wherever that are now bringing out plant-based things. We can't boycott those sorts of companies either. We need to let them know that these are products that we desire. These are things that we want on the menu. We want you, as one of the worst destructions of the planet with the amount of cattle they kill, to try different things and move away from that. And the only way we're going to do that is with education and with supply and demand. That's it.
All right. So I've got one last question, and then Tammy's going to move to the kitchen. and she's actually going to make us a smoothie. So I'm going to start off with you, Tammy, so that you'll have time to go to the kitchen, and then Haans can take over. So the last question I have for you is, for everyone that says we're living in a society where time is our precious currency, we don't have the time, or we can't make the time, what is a practical takeaway or tip that you could give families, parents on the go, people that are working, 9, 10-hour, days? What is a practical takeaway that they can apply to prioritize a better health and a better nutrition for their family?
Yeah, well, firstly, I have to say that nutrition is critical. So you have to take the time. That's right. You can't say, I don't want to get sick, I don't want to get cancer, but, I just don't have the time to think about that. You have to put health as a priority in your family. But then there are a couple of things, and I actually have a whole chapter of this in my book, because I am so passionate about it. I'm busy as well. I'm very, very busy. I've got a lot of things going on. But batch cooking on a Sunday changed my life. So making food on Sunday in big pots that you can have it for the week. And then when it comes like stress time, what we call suicide hour in our house, is like really quick to get the food out. So things like making black bean chilies, making a bolognese. And again, you don't have to make foods that are completely different. You don't have to soak your nuts and, dehydrate these these super vegan things. Some people do that, but if you don't have the time, just make what you usually make. So if it's a lasagna, just switch out the mince for a plant-based mince. If you usually do fish tacos, switch out the animal-based fish for plant-based fish. And that's why meat analogs or meat alternatives or plant-based meats are really helpful in that transition phase, because there's no compromise. It's as easy. In fact, it's quicker, because plant-based meats take about 5 minutes to cook. So it's actually quicker, but the impact on the planet and your health is positive.
All right. So this is what we call a wardrobe change when we're doing a live performance. Tammy's going to disappear, turn off the camera, and she's going to show up in her kitchen, and she's actually going to make us a smoothie. So Tammy, you are excused. Just put yourself on mute and turn your camera off. And Haans, what is your best tip to manage time while we're waiting for Tammy to make an appearance in her kitchen?
Look, I mean, the first time when I first started doing this, I did have to take the time to read packets of things. So when I started reading things, I was quite shocked at the stuff I had been eating and didn't know about. Yep. So I think if you can make that one time to sort of do that little bit of research, an extra hour inside Woolies or Coles or wherever it is you shop, and read the backs of the packets, you'd be quite shocked, as much as I was, as what it is you've been ingesting, which would give you other alternatives to look for. Once you sort of get that down pat, it just all comes natural. Like literally for me, I've got 10 minutes in Woolworths. I can get everything I need for the whole week because I know exactly where it is. I know exactly what I want. And my staples are always, I fill up the vegetable drawer. But I had a point to that.
We'll come back to that. We have Tammy in the kitchen. So we've got a quick question from an attendee. Raw versus cooked plant-based foods. Does it matter from a nutritional perspective, Tammy?
So I'm just trying to get my sound up here, but if I heard you correctly, raw versus cooked. I think the raw food is fantastic, but it's not, I don't think it is that damaged by cooking it. Obviously, it depends on the kind of food. If you can go raw, I think it's probably ideal. Can I do that? No, I would find it very, very difficult to only consume raw foods. And for my children, I think it wouldn't work that well. I'm just struggling to get them to eat cooked vegetables. So to get them raw vegetables, some of them, of course, it works, carrots and celery and that sort of thing. But they like their food cooked. So I think it just depends at where you are in your journey. If you're very advanced and far along the way and you're happy with raw foods, go for it. But if you're trying to get your family or your meat-eating husband to go plant-based, I don't know that it's going to be easy to do it on a completely raw diet as well.
All right, Tammy, take us away. Take us through your kitchen and tell us what you're making for us today.
Okay, so today I'm making a holistic health smoothie, what I call a holistic health smoothie. It's not Instagrammable, so it comes out all brown. It's not beautiful and amazing looking for Instagram. But I tell you what, this smoothie is just loaded with nutrients. And I want to talk a little bit about those nutrients. And if you give me 1 second, Bosco, I've just got to get all my frozen ingredients out of the freezer.
Yep.
I think that there are some people that might be doing this with us because they did get a list of ingredients. So if there are people, if they want to also grab their ingredients and do this.
I might actually, while you're pulling out the stuff from the freezer, I might actually run the poll as well, the post poll, if that works. So I'm just going to put together, we've put another poll here that we are going to launch. And it's basically about the workshop. So if for all our live attendees right now, you should have 3 questions while Tammy's pulling out all her pieces together. And it basically asks you if you would like to attend future workshops, which is a yes or no question. What was your most enjoyable segment for today? And then the third question is a little bit about what topics you'd like to see in the future. So for all our live attendees right now, we'd love for you to just take the quick poll if you can.
Bosco, I was going to say, actually, that poll's like right in the middle of my screen now. I can't see anything. To add to my little tidbit before, the other thing that helps me, and believe it or not, I know this might sound strange, but I actually, in the Vegans of Australia group and the Melbourne Vegans groups and those groups that I'm in, I actually do keep, even though I don't write in there that often, I do watch and I see what people are posting and all new products that are coming out. So it is a good way to sort of keep up to date. And I've actually seen products from the groups and gone to the supermarket and got it. And it's like, oh, that was easy, you know. It's another way you can sort of see what all new people are always posting products that are coming out all the time. I love that.
Tammy, congratulations. Everyone wants to see a future workshop, which is great. We're almost 63% of the attendees have already filled up the survey. And it sounds like there's a tie here between benefits of eating plants, doctrine of signatures, which everybody seems to love. Everybody loved the health and blue zones. Lots of awareness from everyone in the attendees today as well. So we're seeing some really good results from everyone here. Thank you so much for taking the time to fill up the survey. We've got a few more people just finishing up. And Tammy, you can take it away in about a minute or two.
Yeah. And if I can remind everyone to jump onto Instagram and post from the workshop today to win one of the signed copies of my books. If you don't win, you can also buy the book on Amazon as well. So it is available on Amazon, and in South Africa, it's available in all the bookstores too, and Woolworths, South Africa. So it's more widely available in South Africa, but you can get it from Amazon everywhere else, including the UK. But, you know, I am giving away 2 copies today. So just watch out for our email where we choose the winners. And my Instagram handle is @TammyFry_. You need to tag me, otherwise I will not know that you posted it.
All right. I think we're good here. We're going to turn off the poll. Tammy, take us away with your cooking skills.
Okay. So holistic health smoothie. What we're going to start off with is soy milk. Remember to buy the organic soy milk. It has so many health benefits. It's loaded with calcium as well. So just 1 cup of soy milk. It's good practice to get at least 1 or 2 servings of soy every day. So just an amazing health food. I really, really believe in it. And then we're going to add some frozen bananas. Frozen bananas are amazing for making what we call nice cream for children as well. You can just add some vanilla essence, some cinnamon, and you can blend it up and it makes a really nice creamy ice cream. And as I spoke about earlier, great for boosting your serotonin levels. And then we're going to add blueberries. Now, blueberries are loaded with anthocyanins, which are fantastic for brain health and loaded with antioxidants. I swear this is the one thing that keeps me healthy and colds away. So just amazing to have blueberries. These are the most sprayed crops, so you have to make sure that you're getting organic blueberries or wild blueberries. So you just add a few of those into your smoothie. And then I'm going to add some baby spinach. Again, for the chlorophyll and the fiber and the iron, loaded with iron, just beautiful, a beautiful way to get greens into your children as well. So like if your kids don't like to eat green food, now I'm going to tell you how to mask the flavor of spinach in your smoothie too. So we're going to add a handful of spinach, and then time to mask the green. I add peanut butter or nut butter, or this one that I use is a mix of almond, Brazil, and cashew. So you're just going to add a teaspoon of that, and that's really going to mask that green flavor. So this is if you've got kids, right? If you don't mind greens, you don't probably need the nut butter, although there are a lot of health benefits from some of these nuts, especially Brazil nuts. And cinnamon as well. So ground cinnamon, a good masking ingredient, but also it has an anti-inflammatory compounds. So full of antioxidants. And actually, this is my favorite spice of all the spices. I love cinnamon. Okay, what else am I going to add? Turmeric. So I think many of you know that turmeric is just an incredible anti-inflammatory, but it's actually the curcumin inside the turmeric that's the active compound. Now, curcumin is further activated. So to make it work even harder for you, you want to add black pepper, because the pepperine in black pepper activates the curcumin. So if you add about half a teaspoon of turmeric, but then you also add a little bit of ground black pepper or fine black pepper to the smoothie, that will actually activate that curcumin inside there. And then I'm going to add psyllium husk. Psyllium husk is a wonderful fiber. It literally acts like a broom and brushes your gut clean. This and chia seeds and flax seeds actually all do the same. So you're just going to add about a teaspoon of psyllium husk to your smoothie.
Tammy, we've got a question here that says, are frozen berries okay? Or should I buy fresh?
Absolutely. I actually think that frozen berries can be better than berries found in the fresh section, because they're frozen at that perfect moment in time. So they're really full of concentrated nutrients, whereas the fresh berries are already dying. So you're already losing some of that nutritional benefits. So I'm actually very pro buying food in the freezer, because it is preserved by being frozen, and there's nothing wrong with that. Preserving by adding, different chemicals and toxins is not ideal. So absolutely, buy them from the freezer, 100%. And then last but not least, aloe vera juice. And you would have heard that this is loaded with vitamin C, but it also helps you with your collagen building. So for your skin, and about a month with some aloe vera juice, you'll actually see your skin changing color. Remember, you can't just go and take an aloe leaf out of your garden and throw it into your smoothie. It has to be the edible one. So don't take one of those and then phone me and say, I don't know, I got really sick from eating my aloe vera in my garden. You need to make sure you've got the edible one. It doesn't taste very good. So just add about 2 tablespoons full. And then last but not least, you can, but you don't have to add dates. They are loaded with calories, but they're also full of fiber. And if you've got kids, this is a wonderful way to add some sweetness and extra energy into your children's diet. So dates. And if you ever have like a sugar craving, just grab a date, dip it in peanut butter, and it's the best. So
Tammy, we've got another question that says, any substitute for aloe vera gel?
Not really, just because it's a substance in its own right. But, there are ways to boost, your collagen without taking animal-based collagen supplements, just getting a wide variety of proteins, so you're getting all the amino acids, vitamin C, products like aloe vera gel or juice. You should be able to get aloe vera juice from pretty much any health food store, and you might even get it from a standard retailer. It is quite common and easy to find. Okay, so that's our smoothie. I'm going to mute because my ninja makes one hell of a noise, and I don't think you guys want to listen to it. So we're just gonna whip this up. If anyone wants to ask any questions in the meantime or post your Instagram, this is a good time to do it.
Yep. And while Tammy is doing that, Haans, if you could give us your social signals so people can follow you on Instagram or Facebook, what's the best way to reach you?
Facebook, Instagram. I'm more on Facebook than I am Instagram, but I do dabble on both. But I go under Bear Cravings, which is BARECRAVINGS, Bear Cravings. That's my YouTube channel. So I have a YouTube cooking channel that I do silly demos with that are a bit of fun. So have a look at those. We just did the Adelaide Vegan Festival last weekend, the last couple of days just gone, and we did another thing for the YouTube channel. So it's really crazy, stupid fun. There's nothing serious about it. So but it's all good little tips from other vegans and other crew members and stuff like that. So yeah, do you want to check that out? Go ahead.
And Haans, what is the synergy between you and Tammy? How did the two of you get to know each other, I guess?
So I actually met Tammy, I think it was the Adelaide Vegan Festival actually Tammy and Wally, her dad, came onto the ship and I picked them up from the airport. And I remember I was so starstruck that I had the Fry's family in my car because it was Tammy's, it was the Fry's, what were they? The schnitzels. The Fry schnitzels are the ones that helped me go vegan. And I used to love that. I even wrote to them in South Africa. I said, oh my God, I love you. They helped me so much. And then the next thing I know, I'm picking them up from the airport to have a tour of the ship. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Tammy, have you blended a smoothie?
Yep. So there it is. This is literally my standard breakfast. If I'm having breakfast, I also do intermittent fasting. But on the alternative days, this would be the breakfast that I have. And if it's a post-workout smoothie, for those guys that train and like to work out, you can still have the smoothie and you can add plant protein to it. So you can boost the protein level of the smoothie as well if you feel you want to do that.
Well, time has flown. We are actually officially on the 1 hour mark. So I want to thank our audience today for being with us. We tried to jam everything in an hour, everything from cooking lessons to concepts. It sounds like you guys love this, and it sounds like we probably need to do something longer. So for everyone that's joined us today, please follow Tammy and Haans. Thank you so much, ladies, for being with us. It's been a pleasure hosting this with you, and I want to wish everyone a lovely evening, morning, wherever you're at in the world. If you have any questions, we'll stick around and answer anything. But other than that, any final kind words from either Haans or Tammy?
Yep. I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions, but I'm also happy for people that need to jump off to contact me on Instagram and just ask any questions that you might have, some that you might have been embarrassed to ask on the group. Absolutely would love to chat to you and help you on your journey. This is my purpose, and this is what I love to do. So if I can help in any way, I would be actually honored and very grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, same here, Tammy. I'm thank you, Tammy and Bosco, for having me on board, and happy to answer any questions and help anyone who needs help or has queries or is doubting it. Just send me a message. Anyone who wants to join the ships too, let me know.
Absolutely. And Haans, someone just said awesome tattoos as well.
They're all animals. See, they're all animals.
And a recording of this session will be shared with everybody as well. We have recorded this session as well for everyone. So we will find a way to get everyone that's attended today as well, and everyone that's signed up for the webinar but couldn't be with us, to get them a copy of this recording as well. So we've got one question from the audience, and it is, any advice for vegetarians considering going down the vegan journey?
Any advice? There are so many plant-based milks. You just have to walk into a retailer and you will see a heap of plant-based milks. I would suggest starting with soy milk for coffees and teas, and maybe almond milk and smoothies, or coconut milk for cooking. Making cheese sauces, soy milk seems to work the best there. And then there's also loads of cheeses, but I don't know that the cheeses have quite come up to the mark, in terms of exactly replicating animal-based cheese. However, you can just avoid cheese altogether. And then eggs are very easy to eliminate. It's like just really easy. And there's different ways of baking, using flaxseed meal, and other vegan ways of baking that you learn pretty quickly when you go plant-based. And you don't have to do it on one day. It's not like there's no right or wrong. There can be some gray area, and sometimes you're going to make mistakes, and none of us are perfect. I don't have a vegan anniversary, like a one day that I've changed.
I don't remember that one specific
I don't
day.
either. Yeah.
For me, it was just a journey and eliminating and learning and eliminating and learning. And that's how I got there.
Got another question. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, can I just say something on the cheese part? When you're like trying to get off the cheese or off the dairy, don't think of it as like it has to be the cheese that tastes exactly like that cheese that you used to eat with the animal product. Think of it as something new, like a new cupboard of ingredients and flavors have opened up to you, and keep an open mind. And yeah, it might look like a block of cheese that sort of look like what you used to eat, but be open-minded about the flavor and texture, and don't be so set on that one particular thing. I know there might be something that you loved or whatever that like something I might have missed from, like Golden Gay Times. I love Golden Gay Times, but they haven't brought the vegan ones out yet. But there's so many other things there. It's just, for me, it wasn't like the door shut on all these flavors that I used to eat. For me, it was a whole new doors opened of these beautiful, wonderful ingredients that now I get to try that I never thought to eat before. So it's just opening up your mind a bit more and thinking outside the box, and not be so stuck on those particular flavors that you wanted, or those textures.
You got another question here, and that is, do you recommend going cold turkey for people that are into seafood or into meats? Do you recommend going cold turkey, or do you recommend they theme their nights and sort of slowly change? It's a good question, but who wants to take this one?
Haans, do you want to start?
Yeah. Oh, look, yeah. I think everyone is individual. Everyone is different. And I know some people who went cold turkey. It took me a few months. I didn't do it straight away, but the penny didn't drop straight away. That's the thing. Sometimes people just, like Earthlings pretty much tipped me over the edge. If you go watch Earthlings, or, one of those documentaries that Tammy put up earlier, and you might just think, that's it, done. I'm never doing it again. Never going to contribute to that again, that horror. So, or other people might just think, maybe I'm going to go for my health, or maybe I'm going to go for environment. And do the transition that way. So everyone is different, and there's no right or wrong answer on that one.
All right. And Tammy, the final question here is, how does plant-based diets impact obesity?
In terms of, obesity, I think that as you become more conscious, because going plant-based is a conscious choice, so you start to consider everything outside of you. You start to consider your impact on other things. And as you go through that consideration process, you also start to naturally turn to more healthier choices for yourself. So it's just a shift in consciousness. And naturally, plant-based foods, eating spinach and kale and butternuts and eating plant foods are naturally lower in calories anyway than some of the meat counterparts, like heavier meat-based foods. So, naturally you can lose weight. That's not to say that every vegan that's out there is skinny, because there's a right way of doing it and there's a wrong way of doing it. So, you can be also a good friend of mine on Instagram. His name is Sean, and his Instagram handle is Fat Gay Vegan. He loves being fat and he loves being vegan, and he just eats everything and so much junk food. But, there is that you can do it that way. And then you can choose that, you consciously want to get healthier through the process as well. So, that's a choice that I think you have to make as an individual.
All right. Well, there's a few of you that asked if we've recorded this. We will be sharing it. A lot of people have asked to see the recording as well, Tammy. And I'm going to say something in Swahili, which is Asante Sana. I'm originally from Tanzania, East Africa. And Haans, you know what that means as well. And that is thank you for attending, and happy World Vegan Day to everyone as well. We're going to cut this off and take the party socially. So if you want to continue the conversation with either Tammy or Haans, I recommend you follow them on social media. Tammy, you want to show a snapshot of the book? I think it's behind you from your kitchen, so everybody can see the title of the book and know where to get it on either Amazon as well. All right.
Yeah, and I'll just show everybody the kind of food photography that's in here, so that you can get a sense of what there is.
And you can get this on Amazon, or if you're in South Africa, you can get it in the bookstore. Is that correct?
That's correct. And there's just heaps of family recipes, and it just makes it super easy. I've made this with the mom cook in mind, so this is not for high-end chefs. This is just everyday cooking for your family.
Awesome.
And the name of the book is Made with Love and Plants, and it is available on Amazon.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to wrap it up now, and we look forward to taking any of your questions online. We're going to end the recording and look forward to hearing from us via email. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye.